Oh, okay. I am ready. I have my notes.
Okay.
I think. Oh fuck. No, I don't. Okay, now I have my notes.
Okay. Hey, this is the Where's My Invite podcast with Billy and Joe. Thanks for listening.
Okay. Should I start us off? And I know we'll have like the intro clip come in,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
I'll just get
Explain
going.
how you got the SAPA-Project.
Okay, hold on. Okay, the SAPA-Project. So today we're gonna talk about Joe and I are gonna we did some personality testing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we'll kind of. I haven't really seen any of Joe's. Fuck. I haven't seen any of Joe's results, and Joe hasn't seen mine. But we did a couple. We did two personality tests. I thought it would be kind of. I came up with the idea. I thought it would be interesting. Someone you, the listener, may be interested in a little bit more about us as we
Maybe.
continue going. Right?
Maybe not. If
Maybe
not,
not.
skip
Well,
the episode.
right. Well, stay because you might want to sponsor us, and you might enjoy.
The
You might enjoy.
individual wants to sponsor. Well, that's
You
what
might.
Patreon's for.
Right. Anyway, you're here now, and you probably haven't left yet. But we did two different personality tests. The first one we did was from the SAPA-Project.
Yes.
Basically, it's some research I got from my friend Caleb, who was a psych major and looking for work. So here you go. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, hire my guy Caleb. He has a bachelor's degree, very smart guy, very good looking, presumably long dong, but I haven't asked.
Well, you just fucked his chances of getting.
I fucked my chances, not his chances. Hey, maybe I don't know what they go for in
What does
psychology.
SAPA stand for?
Oh my god.
I haven't
What
seen
is
it
this, a
anywhere
quiz?
actually.
I don't know.
I just
It's
realized I
just
had no
called the
idea what it
SAPA
was.
project. Yeah, your data is being
It looks like an acronym.
says another personality test. SAPA. What would you guess it stands for? I have no idea.
The PA is probably personality assessment.
Some anonymous person's assessment of personality. That would be SAPAP.
Right.
Anyway, so this one, it took me a long time. How long did it take you to finish this one?
Probably took me about 45 minutes.
I'd say about the same. And I spent, I would say, at least 30 minutes on the little puzzles. There's maybe five or six different sections.
Yeah.
And oh my god, they got tiring after a while. I could not.
I started
stomach.
stopping with the fucking puzzles. I was really trying on them at first.
Right.
And then I just stopped.
Okay, so at least our results, no one went try hard on that. But
Right.
it says it's not very long. Okay, maybe if you're smarter than me, which is possible.
Oh,
but
synthetic aperture personality assessment.
Well, I think they did a great job with their test, and it was a little bit lengthy, but they do offer a lot of insights. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably the most detailed personality test I've ever taken.
For free, too.
For
you
free,
can probably get better one, or not bet. Look, SAPA, again, if you want to sponsor us. But it is for free, and it is collecting research anonymously. Yes. You could give them more information. I didn't, and I doubt you did too, Joe.
Actually, I gave him a lot of information.
Okay, I was wrong. See, here we go. Learning
it's
personality.
For science. That's okay.
Well, okay, and then the other one we did was much shorter. It probably took me 10 minutes.
It's like a Myers-Briggs.
Yeah.
16 personalities test.
16 personalities. Exactly. Okay, so now Joe and I sent each other the first one. Let's go over the SAPA one first, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it gives you a little chart, sort of, and it's relative to other people who have already taken it.
Yeah.
So this might change in the future, but for us now, where the fuck is this? Let me look at your chart. Okay. Okay,
Okay,
the first thing I
honesty
noticed.
is negative.
Right. Okay. Look, listen. I'm not sure what order these are coming out, but uh I don't know if I should say this, but if not, you can cut this out. But
Okay.
we did just record and say how I was very sort of rule
Yeah.
almost oriented with the driving.
Yeah.
So that one thing that hurt my feelings, I'll be honest, is it said my intellect was like below.
Yeah, same. Although
Okay,
mine's way further below than yours, but yes, same.
and that is it.
Yeah.
Not to laugh at, Okay,
Yeah.
first thoughts, Joe. My honesty. Wait.
Yeah, your honesty's
Okay.
uh low.
My honesty is low.
Yeah.
Okay. What the fuck? Okay, hold on. I can read. I promise.
But you're very trusting.
Which is an interesting combo, isn't it? Okay. So the way I think for honesty, the way honesty was, let me pull this up. Okay, let me defend my character immediately from the get go. How do they describe honesty? Okay. Okay, I scored for honesty. Indicates I'm a little bit lower than average on the honesty scale. This does not mean I'm necessarily, and this is where it cuts out, and then it cuts out individual. So I'm not necessarily an honest individual, apparently. To the contrary, it is sometimes the case is that individuals with lower score on this trait are simply less troubled by relatively benign rule breaking. It's also ironically possible to get a low honesty score by being more willing to disclose your dishonest behavior. Blah blah blah, and it cuts out for me. And do you have the quote with Captain Jack Sparrow as well?
For honesty.
Yeah.
Nope, Shakespeare.
Okay, so I guess I'm a Captain Jack Sparrow in honesty.
Yeah. No legacy is so rich as honesty.
I wonder if that has anything to do with.
Because my score for honesty was like 53, which is not much. I'm
Okay,
guessing
well, you're
yours
not.
was like
Okay, hold on, Mister.
47 or something.
I'm 48. Okay,
48.
so
I'm
I
not much
place
more
higher
honest.
than 42%.
I'm on the higher end of the bell curve, though.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, my intellect is at a 31, apparently.
And it's very. Mine was also below the bell curve. Okay, let me. Okay, maybe we recommended them too much. We're already getting insulted with this. What was it? Your intellect?
Yeah.
What would you like
Your
to
score
see?
on the intellect scale indicates that you are somewhat less interested in philosophical concerns. More likely, you take a careful or more thorough approach to learning and spend time sorting out your thoughts and planning your words. This may mean that when you arrive at your final conclusion, it is more polished and coherent than it would be otherwise.
Okay. What was your score on the intellect?
31.
Oh wow. Okay, so mine was 46. So what was your? I'm at 34%.
I'm at
Higher.
3%.
Oh my god! So you are. Wow. Okay, so you're the least intellectual person, pretty
Well,
much they've ever seen.
not the most.
Okay, so
And
how
I
about this?
actually
Okay,
really like philosophical stuff. I
do
really like
you?
that kind of stuff. I'm just really
That's
slow
what
to
kept you
learn
above.
stuff.
Yeah, I was humble about this and said it took me a minute to understand things.
Yeah,
I don't
same.
understand everything immediately.
Right, same.
Which is why I think we have to go through and re-understand all this stuff between the
Yeah.
both of us. Okay, who's your quote by?
For intellect, it is Albert Einstein. We
Okay, I
should
have the
take care
same.
not to make intellect our god. It has, of course, powerful muscles, but no personality.
And ain't that the truth? I got the same thing as uh, Albert Einstein. Okay, so your intellect is way the okay. Authoritarianism. I'm assuming that's you don't deal with authority very well,
I hate authority.
right?
But like I love my bosses currently, and they're very reasonable people, and so I have no
But
problem listening to them. I have no
right.
problem listening to them. They're very fair. They're very reasonable. But like with a certain professor I'm dealing with now,
Okay.
I'm having a hard time dealing with his authority because I think he's inept.
Right.
I think he's a fucking idiot, and I don't think he knows what he's doing, and I don't think he's fair. And so I have a really hard time respecting his authority.
Right. Okay, let's see. Attitude story. For perspective, mine was 50 percentile.
For
Exactly.
what?
I was right in the middle. I'm higher
Oh
than
yeah,
50%
for
and lower than
authoritarianism.
50%. So what does it say? Those that are high in it typically believe that laws exist for a reason. So it's saying you don't think there should be any laws and
Yeah,
thus should
it
be
says
unequivocally obeyed. So you think, you're the person that the hand is on in the crosswalk and you still walk. Okay.
yeah. For if it makes sense to walk. If there's no fucking cars, yeah, I'm gonna fucking walk.
Uh,
It's 4%, by the way. Mine is.
okay.
You may believe that rules are made to be broken. Perhaps you have a rebellious streak of your own and therefore resist authority in order to assert your own individuality. Or maybe your dim view of authority comes from a political and historical understanding of the dangers of strict and unfair governance, which is very much the case for me.
Right. I'm with you 100%. I might even be worse. Like, man, some of the I don't I always have good manners with my bosses and stuff and all that. But sometimes, oh god, I hate authority. Sometimes you see these terrible clips with the police, and it's just so crazy to see their power trips. So I definitely
Yeah,
cannot get
dude,
behind. I would not be able to cut it in the military,
a
where
certain cop I knew who may or
right,
may not be related to me,
okay,
through my wife. He
like picked Autumn up and threw her,
huh
but that, allegedly,
picked Autumn up and threw her.
you said through your wife.
No, I am related to him through my wife.
Okay.
It's my
Oh,
wife's brother.
I'm like, what? He picked Autumn up and threw her?
No, I was trying to be,
Okay. Yeah. Well, you can cut this.
inconspicuous here, but yeah, my wife's brother is a cop, and he at the time routinely power tripped.
Right.
And I do not deal well with that. And it was New Year's Eve. She was over at my house. Weren't fucking or anything. And he didn't know she was at my house. Like it's his fucking business. We'd been together for about 2 years at this point, by the way.
Okay.
And which, by the way, we were in my car, had just walked out to my car and was about to drive her over to her friend's house to stay the night.
Okay.
And he pulls up in his cop car in front of mine. And so he gets out, walks over towards the driver's side, and does his finger at us. You know that little cop finger that's like, come here.
Oh, the come hither.
Yes.
It's the
So
worst. Like like you're a dog.
right. And so he does that, and I get out of the car, and he walks up to me. He's like, "What the fuck are you mad about?" I was like, "What the fuck are you mad about?" And so he points at Autumn and does the finger again, and she gets out, and he's like, "Come on, your ass is coming with me." And I was like, "No, it's not." And then he's like, "Joe, shut the fuck up." And I was like, "No," and I pushed him. He was on duty, by the way. And so he grabs me and he's like, "Put your hands behind your back," and gets out his handcuffs. I was like, "Oh, am I being arrested?" And I slammed my head down onto the car, way too dramatically. And
Okay.
Autumn's screaming, and she runs over to him and pushes him off of me, and he backs up. And so then I go,
He was putting you in handcuffs.
He was. He didn't get
Okay.
me in handcuffs. She ran over before he could, but he had my arms behind my back restrained. And
That's
so he's
brilliant.
like,
For me.
Right. And I sat up and I was like, I'm sorry. Am I not being arrested right now?
Am
And
I being detained?
Autumn's like, Joe, shut up. And then, so Robert's like yelling at us, and I tell him to shut the fuck up. And he gets up in my face, and I grab him by the collar of his shirt and push him back. And then Autumn gets between us, and I get so mad I hit my car with my hand, and I break my fucking hand.
Oh my goodness! Was the car okay?
And I put a dent in it.
Okay.
And so he kept telling me to shut the fuck up. I told him he was a fucking pig, probably a bootlicker. Then he takes Autumn over to her friend's house. And I was like, what? I was about to do that. What the fuck is the point of that? And so I go up to my apartment, smoke about a pack of cigarettes.
Okay.
Right after that. And this was at about 2 a.m. At about 6 a.m., Autumn comes over because my hand had already turned black before she left. She came over and took me to the hospital, and where they told me I broke my hand.
Okay.
But I've never dealt well with cops. I grew up skateboarding, and I had constant run-ins with police for that. And so I was constantly, literally just running from police.
Oh,
and
I have a terrible story. Well, not terrible. I'm completely afraid of cops, and I'm about as pale as it comes. So I'm probably for the least amount of probably have the least amount to worry about. But still, oh god, they just terrify the hell out of me. Even I do not ever want to speak to the police. Do not ever want to I don't even want to be in a situation near police. This is a good topic for another podcast. Is dealing with the police. And a very not divisive at all.
I was going to say that's a good way to alienate the audience real fucking quick,
right? Okay, so back to
this.
Back to the personality.
I noticed your compassion is very high, by the way.
Yeah. You don't think I'm compassionate?
No,
what does it
say? I didn't say that. I just said I noticed it was high.
I'm insinuating.
Mine is low.
So you don't have. You're projecting.
Yeah. Your score on the compassion scale indicates that you are a bit less focused on the feelings and needs of others. It may...
Man, that is hard to believe, isn't it?
It may simply be that the conditions of your life require you to attend to your own needs first and foremost. It is likely that although you don't shut other people out entirely, you believe that most people are equipped to take care of themselves, which is very true. I do believe that. People probably know not to badger you with personal or emotional requests.
Oh, ain't that the truth?
Even if you see a sad movie, you are less likely to empathize with the characters to the point of being moved to tears. Untrue. I will cry like a baby in a movie, dude.
No kidding.
No kidding. There was some movie that me and Autumn watched, and every fucking time I watch it, I cry like a baby.
You must be speaking about the when the Rohirrim charge.
No, not Lord of the Rings. No. It's a beautiful moment.
That scene gets me every time. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I'm gonna try to think of what movie it is that always brings me to tears.
Well, it can't be that memorable. What is this? Marley and Me, maybe?
Marley and Me. No, I don't remember what it is. It's some movie that it's one of my favorite movies. I just can't think of the name. I'm horrible with names, by the way. Terrible with names.
Oh, same.
Names of people.
Names of
places, technologies at work. People are like, you ever used that programming language that's paired with CSS? And I'm like, what? I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, so in this personality test, they had a bunch about word associations.
Yeah,
which I think I'm generally pretty good at. I don't know if you had the same.
I only got one of those.
Man, I don't think I got any of them.
Hold on, I had two. They gave me two, and I only got one of them.
Did you have the one? It was like fly, wall, and clip, and it was like find the association. I could not figure that out. They made compound words.
B. comb, and something else, and
Wait, honey.
Honey. Yeah, it's
Okay.
very easy because of bee and comb.
I'm like,
What the fuck?
I'm like, I literally Googled this. I pulled a School of Zoom, and I was like, what the fuck? I was gonna say I didn't know, and well, maybe you don't believe me because of my honesty score, but
Yeah, it's kind of hard to trust your word
I did
now.
look it up because I had no idea, and it's not like it tells you at the end.
Right.
Okay. So you just talked about my compassion score. So here's my compassion. It says my score indicates that I'm very compassionate. Okay, big surprise.
Hmm.
Probably go out of your way to ensure that others are comfortable and it cuts off. Most likely, you have a difficult time witnessing pain and suffering on the part of others. Man, there's this, this commercial where they talk about the dogs and they play In the Eyes of
Yeah.
the Angels.
Yeah. By Sarah McLachlan. Yeah.
Fucking hate that commercial. I can't deal with it. Okay.
I empathize with my dogs way more than people.
Oh, dude, I understand it. Every time I watch a TikTok with a dog in it, I feel like I'm on the same emotional plane as the dog. Like I understand completely what the dog is going through.
I just remembered the thing I always cry at. It's not a movie. It's a TV show.
Oh.
Have you ever seen The Good Place?
Okay, I've seen up to season 3.
Dude, the last season, the last episode,
it's good.
I stopped before the end of it that my past watched through because I was like, I can't cry right now. I cry like a fucking baby every fucking
so
time.
I can hear a little bit of the tears.
Yeah, honestly, just thinking about it, I want to cry right now.
Okay, I gotta watch the end of this.
But it's such a good ending. It is so fucking.
It's a good ending.
Yes,
okay,
it is
I'll
so
finish
good.
It. I was watching it with my ex-girlfriend, and at the time it only went to season 3 on Netflix, and now season 4 came out.
Yeah,
so
dude, it's so good. Watch it.
Now you have to watch this shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about me being compassionate.
Yeah, compassion.
So anyway, so stop crying, Joe. Okay.
Yeah. Got my tears in check.
And I'm very compassionate. It's true.
Yes.
So my actions and goals are motivated by my decisions to help others and make the world a better place. Aren't I a goody two-shoe? But beware.
You don't seem like a compassionate person.
I don't come off as a compassionate person.
No,
this
you
is
don't.
telling me I'm very compassionate.
Yeah, you don't at all.
But beware, it is possible that your own, and then this is where it cuts off. And then sometimes go my own needs, I think it's going to say. Sometimes go unmet as I bend over backwards to accommodate others. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, I don't bend over backwards for anyone.
So one thing I did notice is, unless I've opened up the same thing twice, which I haven't. I did that previously, but at the bottom of the of it, we pretty much have the exact same.
Yes, anxiety and irritability.
Wait, well, I would go even more. Well-being, emotional stability, self-control.
Wow. We are all right there, aren't we?
We're the same person. So, what is this? We don't. So, well-being, we don't take care of ourselves. This one, I think these questions are more like, if you notice you're unhealthy, how quickly do you solve the problem? I'm like, dude, I don't. I'm not trying to fix anything. Like, I understand my body situation. Like, it's not the best, but I'm not actively changing it right now.
I just recently found out I have IBS, and I can eat certain foods to stop my pain and suffering, but fuck, I'm not. Because I have to quit eating that fucking jalapeno mac and cheese with chicken. Dude, I'm not going to stop eating that.
This is the same problem.
I'm just going to be in pain 4 to 5 days.
Think of
4 to 5 times a day.
Our poor listeners who have deathly peanut allergies. And they're like, this fucking guy, I can't eat a peanut. And this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway. So that's well-being. Self-control. I think we're both very impulsive. You more than me, which surprises me. I'm very impulsive.
I'm extremely impulsive. The only reason we have any money in our bank account, Autumn and I, is so that she doesn't starve.
Okay.
If it was up to me, literally before we got married, I barely had any money in my bank account because I
Hmm.
just had enough to pay my bills. That's
Every time,
fucking it. Every time. I always pay my bills. I always pay my bills. I have
but
very
it's
good credit
close.
score. It's dead close. I budget my money until I have a few pennies left.
But that's interesting. So your self control is so bad. You have to really get on top of it.
I have to control my lack of self control. And, you know, by that I mean like I have to be a lot more uh responsible about it because it's so fucking bad. I have to I have to budget like a
But you
50-year-old
have to
man.
budget how impulsive you can be. I
Right.
understand. I
Yeah.
understand. My
But
score's
dude,
right there with
okay.
you.
This is how impulsive I am. One time when I was living in an apartment up in Bland County, I I was just sitting at the apartment with my roommate and I was like, "You know what? I want a ferret." And so
Oh my
I got in
god.
my car. 30 seconds later, I grabbed my keys, got in my car, drove up to the pet store, and
You-
spent $200 buying a ferret and a cage and food and all that shit.
You're probably the worst. Like, I'm not saying you're a bad pet owner, but they're like that's probably the worst type of customer to come into a pet store.
Yeah, well, I returned it a couple days later. I feel horrible about it.
What was the ferret's
Uh,
name?
Swarley.
Swarthy. Okay, that's a good name.
Yeah, Swarley. I like the name. I loved Swarley. He was honest. He was so much fun to play with,
Okay.
but he was just so much to fucking handle. And I wasn't supposed to have a pet in my apartment, and so I took him back and got a refund. And you know they didn't kill him or anything. They just put him back in the cage with the other ferrets. But
Man.
I think I'm a very good pet owner. Besides Swarley, Swarley was a mistake. I'm sorry about Swarley, but other than that,
If
I'm
you could get Swarthy now, would you bring him? Would you go get him?
no, because ferrets are disgusting.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
They're a lot of
My
maintenance.
my uncle used to have a ferret, and
They're cute
they
as
had to
hell,
like
but they're a lot of
walk.
maintenance.
They had to like walk the ferret and stuff, which was
Yeah.
okay. So what? So that was similar. Well-being, self-control, emotional stability. What does that mean? You have slightly less emotional stability, or you're more stable? I'm right
I'd
on the
say,
middle.
yeah. Let's go down to emotional instability or stability.
Well,
I'm getting ahead of myself. Your score on the emotional stability scale indicates that you are somewhat lower in stability. You are probably a little more responsive to both negative and positive situational cues than others. You may respond emotionally to events that would not affect many people. Your reactions tend to be more intense and consuming, though with time you are probably able to get over these feelings and effectively cope with the situation. You may be hesitant when others are willing to proceed, and this is likely caused by a slightly greater awareness of risk. Emotionally reactive people are generally more sensitive, emotional, and prone to feelings that are upsetting, such as anxiety or guilt. So, the reason why I am more emotionally unstable, I guess,
okay.
is because I am just a ball of nerves. And
And your anxiety score is higher than mine,
is it
which is both high, or
right?
both more anxious, I should say.
Yeah, I I had to go to therapy a while back because my anxiety, I didn't know it at the time, but my anxiety was so bad it was sending me into severe depression.
Right.
And so I went to therapy, you know, we got to the root of it, which was my anxiety. And so I haven't been depressed since. I've been able to control it a lot better,
Okay.
knowing what I know. So it's very
That's good.
beneficial to go. But I found out that, and my therapist said I have, quote, severe crippling depression, end quote,
So
which is
okay.
accurate. I mean, like,
Well, well, hold on. Why the quotes? Let's rewind. Just why quote
because
if
that
it's
was his
accurate?
verbatim statement.
Okay.
Verbatim, that's what he said was severe crippling anxiety, which
Okay.
is very
Okay.
accurate.
Fair enough.
Uh,
Good
I,
use of quotes then.
yeah, I will. Anything can happen. Okay, so like big situations, not bad, honestly. Like,
You know a presentation is coming up.
well, that's not a big situation. That's so minor
Okay.
in my life, but it's pretty nerve-wracking. But like whenever Autumn and I were in that car accident on Christmas Eve,
Oh, dude. I mean that. Come on. What are you supposed to be like, Mr. Cool?
Autumn was a ball of nerves. She was
Oh,
sobbing. She was in a panic attack the entire time.
I had the impression that that was. Well, I know that I remember when this happened, and remember from your attitude at the time that it was that you were the cool one. But
Yeah.
I had the impression that you were going to say the opposite just now.
No, like I was posting in Discord about it. You
Yeah, I
remember right
remember.
after it happened. And
Right.
uh Autumn I called my mom and we were talking on the phone, and then we got hit again while we were on the phone,
Right.
and Autumn screamed. And I got out and was checking on everybody and then got back in the car. Autumn was on the verge of tears, panic attacking, and I was just kind of chilling. I dropped my vape, which pissed me off, but I was just chilling in the car, trying to listen to music and shit, and while we wait on the cop. And I was like, how are you so calm about this? I was like, I'm nervous about literally everything else in my life.
Okay, so you pulled the Hulk and the Avengers.
And
I'm anxious all the time, actually.
yeah, and later she was like, I'm so glad you were so calm. And she was telling my parents, she was like, he was so calm during the
There you
entire
go.
thing. But I was vacuuming a couple days ago.
Okay, what a segue.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
I'm on the edge of my seat.
the cord got caught around the coffee table,
Okay.
and I was so anxious, I about lost my fucking mind.
For what?
Nothing. I was just so anxious. I was just anxious
Because of the cord?
because of life. I was just
Well,
anxious, and the cord
okay.
was just the straw that broke the camel's back. And it
Wow.
just sent me spiraling, man. I was about to lose my fucking mind. I could have put my foot through the coffee table.
Not to belittle your experience, but it is funny for me.
No, it's hilarious. And that's why I'm emotionally unstable. Most of the time I'm fine. It's just whenever I'm anxious, it will skyrocket. If the tiniest thing can happen, I will like lose my remote, and if I don't find it within 5 seconds,
Right.
then I'm looking up at the ceiling fan wondering if I put my head in there if it'll kill me. I get so ramped up.
Oh, god damn. This is excellent.
Yes.
Oh, I hope that wasn't a noticeable cut for everyone. So I think I have for me, I don't know if it's similar or not to you, but for me, even the little things like the presentation, every presentation I've ever given, I'm so nervous right beforehand, and 9 out of 10 times you should be able to hear the nerves in my voice. If you're listening to
Oh
it and
yeah,
you
I
know
mean
me,
same.
you can hear my nerves in my voice. But people say, or people have told me that I hide it really well in those
Yeah.
presentations. And usually once I'm up there, I'm good.
For me, it's once I
If I don't
start
make
talking a
mistake,
little bit,
uh-huh.
then I'm good. But for like I have to talk for a couple minutes and then I'm good. So if it's like a 2-minute long presentation, it's fucked. But if it goes on past that and I get to talk for a little while, then I ease up and it's all good.
2 minutes is tough because 2 minutes you can script it, but a long presentation you can't really. You can, but you can't really
Well, I have a
prepare
hard
for
time
every word.
scripting things. Like I will never ever prepare for an interview. The most I will ever do is
A technical interview or a personal
well, I'll
interview?
never do a technical interview. But
Okay, I'm with you
uh
there. And personal,
yeah.
same thing. The most preparation I'll do is prepare like questions about the company and
Right.
have a list of questions to ask.
Right. That's what I was going to say. The only prep I will do is gather some questions for me to ask them, and that's fucking it. Because if I try to script it, I
Right.
come off as way too robotic.
And
And
insincere and
right. And so I try to, if I don't prepare and then they ask me, I have to genuinely think about it. And that shows, them that I genuinely will mean whatever I say.
Dude, I can do the same thing, but sometimes my answers sound scripted. Some of my friend Eli, shout out to Eli. He when he was applying for jobs, he would get emails back from his recruiter, or for the recruiter or the HR department, and sometimes he'd ask me, "Hey, write up a quick 5 minute reply to this. Take 5 minutes," and I would do all these replies to sound. I'm very proud of this little ability to help a sound more businesslike, and it does come naturally. But I feel like it does hurt me in some interviews because it sounds like it's scripted. But
Right.
but I kind of know the right thing to say, and I kind of
Yeah, I
am
think
able to
I do
get there.
too. I think I'm right there with you on that. I've always been really good at being professional
Okay.
and giving good, meaningful, but professional sounding answers and
Hmm.
responses.
Right. And for me, back to the anxiety thing, I think why my anxiety scores like when if I ever have to give a presentation, and you might remember this from when we had the same courses. If we ever had to give a presentation in them, I think we had for Proglang a couple.
Yeah.
I always volunteer to go first. I
Yeah.
can't. I can't stand having to wait for a. Knowing I'm going to present, I'd rather get it done and over with first, because I'm going to be anxious the whole time anyway.
Yeah.
But it does limit the painful anxiety of it, of having to wait. At least I know, like, I'm the first person, and then I don't have to do anything, which helps
Yeah.
me.
I mean, I'm kind of the same way. I do like to get it over with, but I also kind of like just a little bit like to wait to see shitty presentations
Right.
because then I'm not fucking nervous. If I see someone absolutely butcher theirs, I'm like, okay,
So you're
mine's
just
not
waiting to
that
see
bad.
someone fuck up. But okay, so when I took speech, um, you could go the way my speech. This was in high school, so my speech teacher, not my professor. It was basically the f- she had like some order, so you could sign yourself up to go first. And the way it would work is most people would try to go last,
Hmm.
and the earlier you signed up, the earlier you could, like, you were the first. If you're the first person to present, you were the first person to sign up next time.
Hmm.
And I could never get like the first couple, and sometimes I wouldn't even want them. But the people that go first, those are the people that like really like practiced it. At least in
Yeah.
my high school. Oh man, it was terrible coming after them too, because
Yeah.
they would be killing it, and then I would be the first like mortal to come up and like give my shitty speech.
In senior sim this semester, he has our groups set up to like, my last name is Bailey, so it's B. And
Right.
in another group, a guy has his last name that starts with an A. And for some reason, the professor will go alphabetically, but just choose one person's name
Okay.
to go alphabetically. And it's my name and the A guy's name. And so he goes first with his group, and then we go.
Right.
And they are the smartest fucking people in the class, and they are absolutely killing it. And
And
so
then
whenever
and
we
then
go,
you.
right, whenever we go, it's dog shit.
Hmm.
I mean, absolute dog
Okay,
shit.
but what about the third person that goes? How are they in comparison to you? Just you.
About the same with us.
Okay.
There's only a
Wow.
few people in
So
the
it does
class
make
who
you
are like
look.
really excelling, and
Okay.
then there's a couple people in the class who are doing a little bit worse than us.
I
But
was.
uh, most of them are right around where we are, I think.
Okay. For us, when I did senior sim, I was always the best. I don't.
Well,
I can
you're
humbly
so
say
humble.
I was
Yeah,
always the best of
I can
our
see you have a
group.
very high humble score on this.
I was always the best of the group with like the casual interactions. I felt like with
Yeah,
the profs,
yeah,
and I was fine in the presentations we had, but I was sort of the. We didn't really have a designated person, but if we had one person to go through, um, well, actually, that wouldn't be me now that I think of it. We had a project manager, and it was his responsibility to do it. But if we had some person to kind of like manage in between everyone and sort of like be the day-to-day manager, or like the day-to-day manager, not like the big picture manager, that was sort of my role as
Right.
well. And I didn't really have any trouble with that. Usually I got along well with everyone, all the professors and them at the time. Okay, and here's something that's surprising me on this. Uh, your your humor is
Yeah.
average.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I I I don't know how that's average. I really don't. Look, I mean, I'm not saying I'm funny. I don't think that a higher score means you're funnier. I think a
No,
higher
no, it
score
doesn't.
means
It
how
doesn't.
much stock you put in humor.
I
And
think it's how often you like use humor.
I use humor in everything.
It's true. It's
Everything.
true.
I have so much stock in humor. If I don't think you're funny, I'm not going to like you.
What does your description say based off your score?
It's probably thinks I'm bland as fuck. Hold on, let me find it.
Well, do you put any spice in your food?
Yeah, I ate the fucking jalapeno mac and cheese. No,
Okay, fair enough.
yeah,
But you're
it's
not
just
supposed to.
I'm not supposed to, but I do because it's fucking bussin'. It's bussin', dude.
Is
Bussin'
it busting
Janelle.
Janelle?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Sheesh. Yeah, I just found out about the Janelle thing. I didn't know there was.
Really?
Yeah,
That's like half the fun of it.
I know.
Okay.
Okay. Your score on the humor scale indicates that you are fairly high in humor.
Okay.
It could be that you laugh a lot or that you amuse those around you with your jokes. Despite this tendency, your score also indicates that you are also probably able to recognize when it is more appropriate for you to adopt a serious attitude. That is true. I am pretty good at
Hmm.
adopting a serious attitude, I think.
I think for me, I hate going to the serious attitude. So for perspective, my score is so you're at 50. What's your score? Or what's your percentage? Your percentage is at 50, but what's your score?
50.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay. My
50.
my score is 60, and that's 84th percentile
Yeah.
above 84. So for me, it says above very high in humor. It is likely that you laugh often and freely, and that people gravitate to you for it. It cuts out. So I think it says you joke around a lot and know how to get a room of people to relax. Although others may sometimes call into question your ability to take things seriously, and then it cuts out. They know you well. They know you will likely recognize that your good sense of humor doesn't necessarily mean that you're unable to handle responsibility. So I think for me that's dead on. Is like humor is my first go to.
Yeah.
Immediately try to crack some joke.
Yeah, I mean, usually same. Like even in school presentations, I don't take school seriously, and so I always make jokes. And in interviews, my most endearing characteristic, I think, in job interviews
Mhm.
is, I mean, look at my intellect. You know, my humor might be average, but it's no fucking 31. And so I always make jokes, and they always laugh. And I think that that's an important part of the reason why I do so well in interviews is
Mhm.
because I'm able to make jokes. I take it very seriously, but when I think the time is appropriate, once the ice has been broken and everything, I start making jokes and I'm able to make them laugh.
Mhm. Okay, so is there anything else that stands out to you? Because we can go down to
Yeah,
they
let's go
identify
down.
our like biggest outliers.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, let's go ahead and go to the big five.
okay, let's do big five because I think we
Agreeableness.
got all our outliers.
Yeah. So I got a 45 on agreeableness. Your score on agreeableness scale indicates that you are somewhat more disagreeable than most others. You may have less concern with others' needs than with your own. This likely reflects an occasional lack of interest in other people's lives
Man, that's a
and or
shocker.
and or a belief that others should be more resourceful in dealing with their own problems. That is so true.
That is spot on. They got you.
Yes.
They nailed your police description. Their sketch. They got
Yeah.
you. They got you dead to rights on that one.
They got my social security on that, man.
Okay, for me, I got 58, so I'm higher than 79%. And because of course, I'm just compassionate, trustworthy, not
Right. Yeah.
necessarily honest, apparently.
Yeah.
character. Uh, so what does it say? It basically says I'm relatively agreeable, interest in others' well-being, generally. Uh, okay, shall I just read the whole thing?
I just read the first few lines.
Okay, I'll go for the first few. Probably have an interest in others' needs and well-being, and you sound like you enjoy their jobs. That cuts out their joys and their challenges. It may be that your compassion is limited to some individuals, perhaps friends and families, without extending to acquainted strangers. So,
Hey, I have that line too.
in our uh, previous episode that we had, our first episode where we're talking about how I don't speak to people I don't know, that's spot on for me. I will not. I don't really
Yeah.
engage with people, but with friends and family, I'm generally pretty good at remembering where they were last. Not necessarily what they're doing now or what they, they just told me,
Right.
but I do take a huge interest in what people are telling me. Once we're friends.
Right.
Before
Yeah.
then,
Yeah. I mean, same. If like, when Sammy and Merc and Trey tell me about things, I do genuinely care.
right.
Uh, but like if
Well, even for those times, you can tell the wheels stop turning sometimes if you lose interest.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if Sammy says something and Merc's on it, I'm like, all right, Merc's got it. Like I still give a shit. Sammy's one of my best friends. She was my
Right.
first streaming friend.
Yes.
Uh, I love Sammy dearly, but like if Merc's got it, Merc's got it.
You don't feel the need to add your voice.
Right? Yeah,
I agree.
that's true. Uh,
I agreeableness.
yeah. There you
Okay.
go.
What should I go? Okay, so
Uh,
next conscientious okay. Next one is
conscientiousness.
what? Okay, very good.
Conscientiousness.
Thank you for saying that so I don't have to.
I got a 45 again.
Oh,
Actually,
46 for me.
your score on the conscientiousness scale indicates that you are somewhat laid back. Details, order, ambition, and goals are probably not the highest priorities for you. Although you may prefer regularity or work hard at times, it is likely you are not insistent on perfection. You may sometimes prefer to live for the moment and do what feels good now instead of delaying gratification for the sake of long term objectives. I cannot tell you how accurate that is.
This we had basically the same scores here. I think this goes back to like how we had pretty much identical well-being,
Right,
self-control,
yeah.
etc. So I don't have anything to add for that.
Okay.
But
Extroversion.
okay, here we go. So for me, I got a 48,
I got a
which
38.
means I'm an introvert. But usually when I first so the reason I wanted to do the personality test is I find them really interesting. And when I was a freshman at the college, my what is it, the freshman seminar class, I had to we did these and uh, scored. I just like to see the comparison. I if I took this my freshman year, I would have been 1 percentile, like absolutely complete introvert. But and I've taken personality tests kind of throughout college where I'll check it out. And this terrifies me. I'm slightly more and more becoming less introverted.
I'm probably way more introverted than I ever was.
Oh, so you're becoming more.
Yeah.
Do you think you were ever an extrovert?
Yeah, when I was younger, I was very extra. Well, no, I've always been pretty introverted, but I was always much better at being extroverted
Mm,
whenever I was younger. And
mm.
as time, one of the reasons why I had such bad anxiety was because of people. I can't fucking deal with people, and so I've been isolating myself more, which is great for my mental health. Might not
Right.
sound like it, but I do still have friends, which is very important. They're just all online friends, which makes it way easier to deal
Mhm.
with.
For me, I think my extroversion is higher because I think same thing as I think it was the agreeableness was trying to when I don't meet a lot of new people, but within my friend group, I think or maybe I self-identify as enjoying the attention
Hmm.
a lot. I don't mind being sort of the center, and I think I enjoy it. But I might be extroverted in my little group, but I definitely don't seek new groups constantly,
Right.
and
Same.
I don't really, I do not get recharged from parties. I'm the guy you might invite to a party once who stands in the corner and pets the dog.
Yeah,
And like
same.
that's my contribution to the party. Like I'm not gonna do more than that. I will talk to. I think there's one of these questions was like, who do you gravitate towards in the party? Like, do you meet new
Yeah.
people or not? Same people. I talk to the same people,
Yeah.
and
Same.
I will go from comfort person to comfort person.
I'm
I'll talk to you if you come up to me, but
I'm very in a party setting, it'll wear me the fuck out, but I'm very good at masking and pretending like I give a fuck about these random people, and I'll talk to all these random people and do very very well with them, and I'll make them like me, but I don't give a fuck about them, and I will never try to talk to them again. In fact, I'll ignore them if they ever try to talk to me outside of the party. And that's honestly a horrible character trait of mine, in my opinion.
fake
Uh,
frienditis.
yeah, I mean, and I will cut people out for nothing. I've
Dude,
cut
I
people
would
out of my life for nothing. I stopped talking to a guy because he kept asking me for a ride.
right.
He asked me for a ride every day for like 3 or 4 days straight. And every day I'm like, no, I can't. Sorry. And then one day I was 2 hours away visiting Autumn and he asked me for a ride. And I was like, hey, no, sorry, I'm 2 hours away in Bland.
Right.
And he was like, so you can't? And I was like, correct. I cannot give you a ride. He's like, when will you be back? I said, if I left now, at least 2 hours. And he was like, yeah, I can wait 2 hours. I was like, I'm not giving you a ride. I don't know how else to put that. Never talk to him again. I started completely ignoring him. He's dead to me. Never talk to him again.
That's funny. Oh god, I have a terrible story. The first time I met Mark in person, I was at a party. I was at Peter's place in Harrisonburg. Actually, we
Okay.
have our Hollow Weekend, or the Dangus Club. Shout out, of course, shout out to the Dangus Club. Who and we were there, and I've been friends with Peter since first grade, and and I don't know if he knows this, but we didn't become good friends until second grade. But anyway, so I knew the people at the party. I knew a select few of the people at the party, and those were my homeboys, and I hadn't seen them at that point for at least 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So I'm only interested in them. I have no interest in talking to any of the other people at the party, and I'm getting worn out, dude. It is like I. It's not even that late. It's probably at most it's 1 a.m., but it's probably like midnight on Halloween weekend, and I'm like sitting on the couch. This is how down bad I was. I was like watching baseball. It was the World Series or something. I remember I was watching baseball. I'm like, oh hey, good hit. What a I don't know baseball, but I'm watching baseball. This is how bad I am at being at bigger parties, and it's not even like a huge like frat party. It's just a little house party where it's like I think that like people like came off of the street, came in like from the street, and some like hung out at the house. Anyway, this girl comes up to me, and I forget what she says. She says, "Oh God." She comes up. I'm chilling on the couch by myself, and this girl comes up. She's drunk. She comes up to me. She sits. I don't think she sits on the couch. She sits maybe like I'm by myself on the couch, away from the other people watching baseball, but I'm watching too. And she might sit one or two spots over, and she goes, "You know, I used to be an outcast like you."
Wow.
I haven't, dude. I'm at like my childhood best friend's house. I'm chilling. I don't drink either, so I look like I'm a total knob. I don't drink. I don't do anything. I think I have maybe a Coke in my hand at best, or nothing. I might be holding my phone. Okay. She comes up to me and she goes, "Man, I used to be an outcast like you." And I'm like, "What do you? Okay, so put yourself in my shoes, right? Tired. You're not really. It's fun, but it's not my scene." What am I supposed to say back? Like, what would
Right.
you say back? And okay, I'm not gonna say anything rude or anything. I'm like, oh really? I'm like, yeah, nice. And she keeps going on. She's like, She's like, "Whoa, what do you do?" I'm like, I think I said something like, "What do you do? Like, are you studying here or whatever?" Just talking about her majors or something. And she was like, "I'm I go to UVA, and which is
Ugh.
okay, big fucking deal to me. I also go to a UVA school, bitch."
A
It's like
UVA.
I'm like, okay, whatever. Oh, because we're at JMU, and
Right.
oh my god, she's like, "I'm studying," and this is the vibe. Is I'm studying neuroscience, and this is the first time I've been able to let loose and go to a party. And
Mm.
she goes, this is the first time I've been to a party all semester, and this is probably probably my sophomore year. And I don't think I went to a single party my freshman year.
I
I
have
had
yet
no
to go to a
interest.
college party, by the way, senior year.
You what?
I've yet to go to a college party, by the way, senior year here.
Well, yeah, your senior year is during COVID.
And the fucking 6 years before this one.
Got you, got you, got you. But this is probably the first party I've attended in at least a year and a half of school. And she's
Right.
telling me this could not impress me any less. It's like, it's your first party. I'm so envious of you. And I don't drink, and she's drunk. I'm what she wants me to say is, wow, you got so drunk. Way to go. I can't wait to have
Right.
you operate on my brain, Miss Neuroscience. And then I remember her like this like one of her friends came by, and like I wasn't trying to do anything. I'm just being nice because I don't want. I'm. She's talking to me. I'll talk back. But like I remember the guy like coming in to pick up his drunk friend, like looking at me like I was gonna try something. Like, dude, you have no idea how this conversation has went. I would never. There's nothing I am enjoying more than you taking your drunk friend away from me. It was so good. But I always remember yeah. I used to be an outcast like you,
Yeah.
so there's my
What a
extra version.
bitch.
I think so.
All right. Neuroticism.
Okay,
This one's a bit embarrassing for me.
how high is it?
59.
Okay,
Not incredibly high, but definitely my highest of these five.
is that right?
Yeah, your
Oh,
score on the neuroticism scale indicates that you are a little less even tempered than the average person. Do you remember the vacuum story I just told? This suggests that you experience slightly more emotional swings throughout the day than average and that you react strongly to stressful events. Yes, yeah, it's because of stressful events. If I'm already anxious as hell
right.
and the vacuum cord gets caught on the coffee table, I I become neurotic.
Okay, well this might surprise you. My score is 57,
Wow.
so I have the
Okay.
exact same description as you.
Okay.
So it's that last two. Thankfully, my apartment has hardwood floors, so I don't have to do any vacuuming.
Yeah, we just have one rug that we have to fucking vacuum.
Oh, I
And
don't have any rugs either.
yeah, I hate vacuuming. I love cleaning. I love doing the dishes, making the bed,
Okay, well here's the thing.
all of that.
There's supposedly two types of people: dishes or laundry. So you're dishes.
Autumn is laundry. Yeah.
Okay,
I
that's
love
interesting.
dishes, dude. I love doing the dishes.
Really,
Yeah, and mopping. I love mopping.
the mopping, huh?
All right, so no more to add on neuroticism since we're both
Right.
same. Openness, 39,
And what percentage is that?
14.
Oh my god! So you're like, okay, I think that's your highest of like, or like your most extreme of all these. For me, openness is 73%. So it says for me, I'm somewhat new or somewhat open to new experiences and intellectual pursuits. I'm comfortable handling uh, lots of information, and you may also enjoy thinking about complicated problems or issues. You likely have some apprehension, some some appreciation for the arts, and I'm not quite sure what this says, but I'm something by unconventional ideas than most other people. So I guess I'm more willing to
Yeah,
hang out
so
with
I think
others.
this is the only thing I didn't agree with. in this whole test, because it says you probably prefer to think and act in straightforward traditional ways, and you likely avoid abstract and eccentric ideas, which for the most part is true. Others might describe you as down to earth and practical. Uh, a lot of my close family and friends
I would
do.
I would say yeah.
You may not be comfortable handling lots of information, accurate, or you may find intellectual activities boring or even unpleasant. Untrue. More conventional individuals tend to have narrow, common interests. They prefer the plain, straightforward, and familiar over the complex, ambiguous, and novel. They may view the arts and sciences with skepticism, regarding these endeavors as abstruse or of no practical use. I do not believe that. Conventional people tend to prefer familiarity over novelty, somewhat, and this preference often underlies conservative beliefs and resistance to change. Untrue. Very conventional individuals may hold fundamentals or dogmatic beliefs.
Mm.
It makes me sound like I'm an old white conservative who doesn't want anything to change, which is not true. I love the arts and sciences. I'm bad at science, by the way, but I do
Is
love
that right?
sciences. Yeah, I'm horrible with sciences, but like biology, the natural sciences, but they're
Okay.
very interesting if you can dumb it down to like a fifth grade level in a documentary for me. I love watching science documentaries.
Oh man, I know
And
we're
I
gonna probably
love,
wrap up soon, but I have this sparks up a bunch of stuff for me. But yeah, keep going, keep going.
I was just going to say, I love intellectual activities like debating topics and shit. I love that. It's so much fun. And so that's the only parts of these that I thought was inaccurate. Out of
I
this whole test, that's the
uh
only thing I really thought was inaccurate.
the more you mention, the more I think it says I'm very open. I don't know how true that is. I think I'm pretty open to new ideas and trying them out once. Some things, but I can't stand the open ended questions. There was an ex girlfriend I had who, she, God, this is the worst. This was probably the worst thing she would do to me. Is she would say, out of nowhere, I say I'm in the middle of playing Rocket League.
Hmm.
If uh, if you were a tree, what tree would you be? Oh, terrible! I hate these kind. This is the worst question you could ever ask me. This stands out to me because I remember what I said to this. I said, well, I don't know what I would be, but I know you would be a pine tree because you're a pine in my ass. Oh god! And I would get these kind of questions. She would give me these questions. It's very endearing. She was awesome. I enjoyed it because she was cute about it, and she knew I didn't like it, but she couldn't resist asking me these questions. And I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist. I couldn't even pretend that I could think more than 5 seconds about those kinds of questions.
Yeah, it's kind of like the "Would you love me if I was a worm?"
Oh,
Like, no,
I hate them.
fuck
I
no, I
hate those
wouldn't. You're
questions.
a worm. Let's do the Myers-Briggs real quick.
Okay, sure. Why don't we just go with what you got? What'd you get?
I got the INTJ. So
INTJ.
introverted, intuitive, thinking, and judging.
Let me expand my tag. Yeah, so I remember getting INTJ as a freshman in college, but now apparently, oh, what is your it like gives you a name. What is the one?
Architect.
What does that do?
What do you mean? What
Like,
does that do?
does it give you a description?
For specifically for the
Yeah, like
architect?
what is an architect? What do you do? Like what kind of personality is an architect? Like you plan? You're a planner?
Uh, these thoughtful tacticians love perfecting the details of life, applying creativity and rationality to everything they do. Their inner world is often a private, complex one. I don't see anything about architects specifically. I mean, there's a lot of description on INTJ.
Right. Okay. For me, I'm INFP-T.
That's what Autumn is, I think.
Okay.
INFP. I don't know about the dash T, but I think she's INFP.
For me, I was very close between intuitive and observant. It's literally 51 to 49 for me in my percentage.
In the what? Which one?
Are you? I still have my original tab open. Did you get it like emailed to you or something?
No, I have the original tab open. The extroverted introverted.
Right.
What's your ratio for that?
28% extroverted, 72% introverted.
Okay. Mine is 40 or 4% extroverted.
4%.
4%
Wow.
extroverted, 96% introverted, which is accurate.
That's me when I took this freshman year. And I remember I was like 90%, and I feel like I'm losing myself. Now speaking to other people. Can you believe it? I also have between judging and prospecting, it's 47 53 for prospecting, which is, I don't know.
Mine's
I've always been on the fence of those.
72 for judging and 28 for prospecting. 66 for thinking, 34 for feeling, 63 intuitive, 37 observant, 40% assertive, 60% turbulent.
I'm also the turbulent. I used to be thinking, but now I'm more feeling, I guess.
I used to be INFJ.
INFJ.
So I'm INTJ now. I was INFJ.
Mm-hmm.
So just more feeling than thinking. Now
Mm-hmm.
more thinking than feeling.
Well,
But even then, it was like by a hair, INFJ, and not INTJ.
I remember I had the same thing. It was split on a hair at the INTJ.
And my mother is INTJ.
My mother's INTJ, actually.
My older brother is INTJ. And my dad is ENTJ.
Aha, the one extrovert.
Yeah, he is so extroverted. It's exhausting.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's painful, isn't it?
Yes. Because
My
if
mom.
you're with him and are anywhere,
Right.
he talks to fucking everyone.
Don't you hate it when they? I don't know about you. When I'm at a restaurant, I don't make any conversation with. Like, I'll make conversation if the waitress or waiter makes conversation.
Right. Yeah. Same.
But I'm not gonna do anything else. This is one of the worst things of all time. Is when you call your waiter by their first name.
Yeah.
I don't know you like that. You don't know me like that.
I call them Miss or Sir.
Right. And like always polite, always like, can I please? But I'm not trying to add you on Facebook.
Right.
After.
Like I'll be really nice to them.
Right.
I will be so nice. And if my order's messed up and like it's something I'm actually allergic to and can't eat,
Okay.
I'll be like, I am so sorry that I'm doing this. I'm so sorry. I'm allergic to this. So sorry. Again, I'm so sorry.
Dude,
I'm allergic to this.
Like on your hands and knees, like, please,
Right.
could I have, I don't know, mac and cheese would be fine for me.
And I'll be so nice to them. But, I'm not going to, like you said, I'm not going to start a conversation with them. And then I'll tip them out the ass. I give such good tips. If I don't have enough money to give a bomb ass tip, at least fucking 40, 50%.
Wow. Okay. I was going to say, do you go by percentage or, okay. So you tip more than me. I'm pretty fair about it. I do 20% and then I round up. So a little bit more than 20%.
I mean, like,
and that's always what I've that's sort of how I've done it.
It also depends on what I'm getting. If I went in and to a bar and just got a couple drinks, I'm not tipping them 20% on that. I'm not going to tip them 50% on that. I'm going to give them a 100% tip. If I order a basket of fries at a restaurant, I leave a $20 tip.
Wow.
Minimum $20.
This goes back to your self-control and stuff. But hey, that's great.
It's great for them. Not great for
not for the wallet. Did they put okay, for me, I'm a mediator. I'm not an architect. I'm a mediator. Did it put did it put like famous people for you?
Yes, it did. I was just looking at those actually.
Who'd you get?
Some of my famous people are Friedrich Nietzsche.
Okay.
Nietzsche. I'd
Sure.
never known how to pronounce his name.
I'm not going to attempt.
Michelle Obama.
Okay.
Elon Musk.
Mama Bama. Elon. Okay.
Christopher Nolan.
Geez, you got some famous people here.
Vladimir Putin.
Okay, well, maybe.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
Colin Powell. Don't know who that is.
He was he's a big politician guy.
Okay. Samantha Power. Don't know who that is. She looks like a newscaster.
Sure. Sounds like a
from her
newscaster
picture.
name.
And some fictitious people. Walter White.
Hold on one second.
Heisenberg.
It's pinging me.
Did you ever watch did you ever watch
Breaking Bad? Hell yeah.
No, Game of Thrones.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Peter Baelish, Littlefinger.
Oh.
Tywin Lannister.
Okay. Man, these are some kind of cutthroat people, actually.
Oh, dude, hold on. I'm getting to a good one you'll love.
Okay.
Not this one, but Yennefer of Vingerberg from The Witcher.
Right.
Samwise. No. No. Right trilogy. Gandalf the Grey.
Oh, Gandalf.
Yeah.
My man.
Professor.
Gray. Oh, the Grey. Right.
The Grey. I don't know if there's if
yours is still going. I don't have this many people. Okay.
I click the arrow on the right and kept going.
I'm with you.
Professor Moriarty from Sherlock Holmes series.
Okay.
Katniss Everdeen from The Hunger Games.
God damn. This just means you're a basic bitch at this point. You have so many people.
7 of 9 from Star Trek Voyager. Never watched Star Trek.
I haven't seen it.
And Jay Gatsby from The Great Gatsby.
Okay. Now,
and that's the end of mine.
Now, since you went through your whole list, I have to go through my list because my list, I'm a little bit offended with my list. Okay, there's no great. The two bet. Okay, why don't I just give the list? The first one on my list is my man.
Samwise Gamgee.
No.
Oh.
J.R.R. Tolkien. Tolkien is the number one guy.
Okay, that's pretty good though.
It's cool. He was a bit of a nut. I love the work.
He was. He was.
I love you. I love you. Okay, and number 2, the bane of every freshman literature student, William Shakespeare. Okay. So that's my number 1 and 2. These are the 2 most famous people, right? In theory.
Okay.
That exhibit the personality. So number 3, and there's, you know how some have a description? Mm-hmm. This has no description. And I'm not making this up. Björk. I have no idea who Björk is.
Björk.
BJO with the 2 dots. RK. Björk. Björk, I'm sorry if you're listening.
Björk.
I don't know.
Singer-songwriter.
Well, there you go. And Björk is above Alicia Keys.
Alicia Keys, okay.
4th one. Okay, Tom Hiddleston, whose name is familiar, but I can't think of any role he's been in off the top of my head. Is Tom Hiddleston Loki?
Yes.
Am I messing that up?
Yeah, that's Loki.
Okay, so I know him. Julia Roberts. Okay. Leading lady. Right. William Woodsworth.
Horrible actress, by the way.
You think so? She was a huge leading lady, wasn't she?
She literally plays herself.
I watched Ocean's 11 and then Ocean's 12. And she literally played Julia Roberts. Right. Julia Roberts lookalike.
Right.
Which, for me, having not seen her previous work before this, well, not seeing much of her glow up and rise in her ascent.
Yeah.
Didn't really do much for me. I don't
think she's a good actress, personally.
Okay, William
Playing
Wordsworth.
Yourself doesn't count. Go ahead.
William Wordsworth. I don't know who this is. And it says Y underneath. And I'm thinking the same thing. So maybe, the personality is good.
William Wordsworth is an English poet.
These are all poets and actors. Do I strike you as a poet and actor? I don't think so.
No, not at all.
Okay, here we go. And Johnny Depp. Right?
Okay, don't have to look him up.
Okay, and now can you guess this person? Ready?
Samwise Gamgee.
No, Frodo Baggins.
Okay. Pretty good.
Emile Poulain.
I don't even know how to.
It's
Look
from
that up.
it's AME with an accent.
AME.
AME accent LIE. Poulain. POULAIN. From Emil. As if I know that. Okay.
Amelia Poulain. That's from the movie Amelia, I guess.
Okay, great. Okay, anyway, another person I'm supposed to be able to relate with. Okay. And now, okay, here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Can you guess?
Samwise Gamgee.
No, I don't have Samwise on my list at all.
Okay. All out of ideas then.
I have the Lady Arwen.
Arwen.
Okay. And then here we go. We have we'll just go with speed rounds because I don't really know. I haven't seen most of these characters. So Fox Mulder from X-Files, Anne from
Fox
Anne
Mulder.
Okay. Oh, so you've seen X-Files?
Yeah.
Okay, bad one to start the speed round on.
Yeah.
Anne of Anne. Anne
of Anne.
Hold on, this is confusing. Anne. Okay, her name is Anne from Anne of Green Gables.
Oh, okay. Anne of Green Gables, yeah.
So you know this one too.
Yeah.
You know all my people.
How do you not know Anne from Anne of Green Gables?
I have no idea what that is.
Okay. Next one in the lightning round.
Okay, Sybil Branson. Now, don't tell me you've also watched Downton Abbey.
No, I want to.
Same.
But I have not watched it.
Right. So, okay. Finally. And then Lance Sweets from Bones.
Never watched Bones.
Never seen Bones. And then, here's the last one. Konstantin Levin from Anna Karina, which I've also never seen.
It's the same. So
I can relate to like 3 people. And Frodo isn't even the main hero of The Lord of the Rings. Okay,
let's not get into
Say
this.
Whatever. Well, yeah, okay, fine. But also, the real hero is Samwise. Okay.
Yeah, well. Agree to disagree.
I disagree with that. Okay, but anyway. Personality.
Yeah. All right. Good episode.
Hey, thanks for accepting today's invite. If you're waiting to catch another, go check out some of our other content listed in the description.